This webinar is all about a brand new piece of research we've just launched on shoppers of the future. So we launched it last week. I'll share with you at the end of the presentation a URL where you can download the full report. But this is really just to bring this brand new piece of research to life. We've been doing this piece of research, conducting this for the last few months. And really, it's to give us a read about how shopper behaviour is going to evolve over the next few years, and to give us an understanding about which trends are actually going to be the most important to the industry and how we can actually engage with shoppers in the future. Before I delve into this research, I just wanted to share this quote from William Gibson, an economist, and it's a bit of an old quote. It's from 2003, but it's actually, I think, quite relevant for us, and it's all about thinking about the future, that actually the future is already here, it's just not evenly distributed. And I think this is really relevant for us as an industry in terms of food and grocery shopping, that actually we understand quite a bit about shoppers now, and this can help us to understand how shopper behaviour is actually going to evolve in the future. And what we already know in some sense is shoppers' core needs or fundamental needs that are actually really important today and are going to be just as important in the next 5, 10, 15 years. We've identified three which are really important in terms of their core needs. The first one around value, so shoppers are always looking for the best quality at fair prices. Time, convenience, really important to shoppers. So they don't want to spend more time than they actually want to doing their food and grocery shopping. And then the third one is all around choice and relevancy. So helping shoppers actually find the products that they want to buy. So these basic needs or fundamental needs are incredibly important today, and really important that we as an industry are actually nailing these. But these are going to be even more important, or will be just as important in the future. What does change, however, are shoppers' expectations and behaviours, and we predict these are going to change over the next 5 to 10 years. And we've identified 5 mega trends which we believe are going to shape shopper behaviour in the next few years, and actually shape how the industry evolves and satisfies shopper needs. To go through these, I'm going to take you through these trends in a bit more detail, one by one. But I just want to share a segmentation or a group of shoppers that actually we believe are going to have incredible influence over the next few years. We're calling these influencer shoppers. They represent about 25% of the British grocery shopper population. And when you look at the profile of these shoppers, they're slightly younger, higher affluence, but what really sets them apart is their engagement with social media and their engagement with technology. So these influencer shoppers are more likely to have a large following on different social media platforms. They're actually more engaged with online reviews, so they're posting online reviews on brands and services, and also reading online reviews before they're actually making purchases or using different services. As I said, they're early tech adopters, so they're more likely to use new technologies or trial new technologies before other shoppers. And actually, they're more engaged with these 5 mega trends, and they're actually going to really push forward these 5 megatrends that we've identified that are really going to affect shopper behaviour in the next few years. So for us, when we're looking at this research, we actually identified this group of shoppers, these influencer shoppers, as a core group for both suppliers and retailers to really engage with and maybe test and learn new initiatives with these shoppers over the next few years. So just to take you through each of those 5 megatrends that we've identified, and the first one is all around time optimization. So the grocery shopping experience will have to work harder so shoppers can actually make the most of their time when they are food and grocery shopping. And just to unpick that trend in a bit more detail, talking a bit about time and how we're actually using our time now. Slightly depressing, but we're not actually busier. When you look at the number of hours that we're working now, it's not actually that different to the number of hours that we were working, say, 50 years ago, but we're actually choosing to spend our time in different ways. I've just pulled out some stats here from around usage online, or engagement with online and social media platforms. You've probably seen lots of similar stats before in terms of how long we're spending online per day, so around 6 hours per day. We're spending approximately 2 hours on social media. So we're actually choosing to spend our time in different ways. And also things like the leisure industry or the fitness industry here as well. I've just pulled out some figures around the value of that industry and how that's really growing as well. So all of these, I suppose, different activities that are now newly available to us or more prevalent are actually chipping away at time that we could be spending doing our food and grocery shopping. So for us as the industry, time is actually, shoppers' time is getting a lot more competitive. So we really have to engage shoppers to really spend more time doing their food and grocery shopping. Good news though is that shoppers are actually, majority of shoppers actually enjoy the experience of food and grocery shopping. So nearly 60% of shoppers say they actually enjoy going in store and choosing between different products, or if they're buying their products online as well, they actually enjoy the experience. However, there are around 40% of shoppers who say they actually dislike it and need and want to get in and out of store or go online and get their grocery shopping done as quickly as possible. So it's really important, both from a supplier and a retailer perspective, that we're actually engaging with shoppers. And for those who want to spend a bit longer in store and browse, that we're actually creating an enjoyable shopping experience for them. But on the flip side, that we're creating a more efficient food and grocery shopping experience for those who actually dislike the experience of shopping. I've just pulled out some data around enjoyment, the percentage of shoppers who enjoy shopping certain categories, and just to give you an idea about some of those different categories that shoppers enjoy, and maybe those that shoppers actually don't like to spend as long shopping. So it's interesting to see where your category actually fits, from a supply perspective, and where your category fits along this spectrum of enjoyment, and how you can actually engage shoppers, particularly creating longer dwell times for those categories that shoppers actually really enjoy shopping in store or online. And then on the flip side, thinking about those categories that actually shoppers aren't necessarily that engaged with and maybe don't enjoy shopping as much, and thinking about other ways and other channels to actually drive sales through. This is just looking at subscription models. Around a quarter of shoppers say in the next couple of years that they'd be interested in using a subscription model, subscription service to actually buy some of the products that they want on a regular basis and getting them delivered to them automatically. A relatively small group of shoppers now, but actually this could increase in the future, particularly as we see online gaining momentum as well. Subscription models only really apply to categories where shoppers can actually gauge consumption. So they don't want to necessarily over or understock in these categories, but actually they understand how much they actually consume or use. So things like pet care, some health and beauty products like face wipes, nappies, dishwasher tablets, etc. So those categories that actually shoppers can understand or can gauge consumption and know how much they use on a regular basis. So these categories might actually work a bit better in terms of subscription services. Just to pull out some examples, and I've put in this presentation a number of different global examples from our innovation tracker on retail analysis, where we see some of these trends actually coming to life. This is an example from Coca-Cola, where they've partnered with Albert Heijn to actually integrate the offline and online experience. So for shoppers in this Albert Heijn store, they can actually go in store and use this touchscreen in store to actually shop a much bigger range of Coca-Cola products, and particularly those Coca-Cola products that are larger pack sizes, which shoppers might not want to buy in store and have to lug home or bring home themselves. So actually, when they're in store, they can order online products that aren't actually on the shelves and get those delivered via Albert Heijn. The touchscreen also offers up shoppers information about offers or coupons, but also recipe suggestions for different drinks as well. So actually it's creating that engaging experience for those shoppers that might want to spend a bit longer browsing, but also a really efficient shopping experience for those that actually want to get products delivered to home as well. So the second trend is all around health consciousness, and you've probably heard a lot about the health trend at the moment. We've actually identified a bit of a different motivation as to why some shoppers want to follow a healthier diet. So health is top of mind for shoppers. The vast majority of shoppers say that they're actively trying to improve some part of their diet. Around 85% of shoppers say that they're actively doing something to improve their diet. And we know there's lots of coverage obviously in the media, which is driving awareness of the health agenda as well. But actually, there's some current barriers to healthy eating. So we know that obesity levels are rising. So actually, some of the communication around healthy eating isn't necessarily cutting through, and shoppers aren't necessarily taking action in some sense. Some of these barriers are around the perceived lack of value of some healthy eating products, lack of motivation by some shoppers as well, insufficient knowledge and lack of education, and in some cases shoppers cite a lack of time for actually following a healthier diet, and sometimes choosing maybe not the healthiest option helps them actually save time. But as I was saying, we have identified a different motivation that actually could help the industry engage with shoppers in the future. And this is all around looking good motivations, which are driving the health agenda for younger shoppers. So 42% of 18 to 24-year-old shoppers say in the next 5 to 10 years, they'll be eating healthily to look good instead of actually feeling good. And this group of shoppers actually, for younger shoppers, it really over indexes in terms of this motivation compared to the total shopper population. And why are we seeing this? Well, actually, this is all to do with the selfie generation that we're seeing emerging, that actually younger shoppers are a lot more engaged, as we're saying, with social media. And actually, this is creating a trend around shoppers wanting to look good when they're following a healthy diet. And this is just some of the examples of some of these fitness health experts online, the likes of Joe Wicks, Chloe Madeley, etc., who are increasing their followings. They've got actually quite a large number of people who are following them on social media. So actually this is creating a different way for us to, as an industry, to engage with shoppers in the future. And what's the impact of some of these influencers on sales? So some of those social media fitness experts, what impact do they have on sales? I'm not sure if anybody is familiar with the trend around apple cider vinegar. The likes of Victoria Beckham has recently posted on her social media on Instagram about taking apple cider vinegar, a couple of teaspoons of this in the morning on an empty stomach. Doesn't sound very nice, but she's actually a big proponent and says there are lots of health benefits associated with this product. And actually it's having an impact on sales of this product. And this is just some sales data that Waitrose released last month around this product, or this range of products, that actually it's driven sales of apple cider vinegar of around 60%. So really increasing an uplift in sales of these products. So actually some of these influencers are having a real impact on the bottom line as well of particular products. So the third trend I'm going to take you through is all around personalisation. So shoppers in the future will be open to a more personalised food and grocery experience, but only if there's a benefit to them and with minimal effort. And executed well, personalisation could actually be game-changing for the industry. When you think about it, it can drive better conversion rates, it can improve shopper retention, and actually it can create some really useful marketing data. So it could actually have a fantastic impact on the industry and a way to engage with shoppers even more in the future. But aside from things like loyalty card schemes or loyalty card initiatives, we're not seeing a huge amount of innovation around personalisation within the food and grocery industry. There are actually other industries that are actually gaining a foothold with personalisation more so than the food and grocery industry. So there's a huge opportunity for the industry to really engage with shoppers via personalisation in the future. And actually, when we talk to shoppers, it's a known-brainer that they want to have a more personalised food and grocery experience. And it's with this group of influencer shoppers that actually we're going to see the most appetite for a more personalised experience in the future. Nearly 60% of influencer shoppers say that they're willing to share more of their data with supermarkets in order to get a more personalised shopper experience. And actually, online could provide a great platform for engaging with shoppers via personalisation in the future. We know from some other research that we've conducted with online grocery shoppers that around 60% of online grocery shoppers are interested in more personalised offers when they're doing their food and grocery shopping experience. This is just an example of a US service provider which is really delivering a bespoke service for subscribers. It's called habit.com, and people can sign up to a subscription and actually share some of their DNA via blood samples with this company. They analyze that and actually send a totally customized nutritional plan for people who are subscribed to the service. So really delivering on that personalized experience and product as well for people who are subscribed to the service. In terms of the in-store environment, actually smartphones or mobile phone technology could be key to actually unlocking personalization in the future. This is just some research around the appetite shoppers have for receiving personalised offers to their phone when they're in different parts of the store. Around 44% of shoppers are open to actually getting individual or personalised offers when they're walking around the store. So actually technology and smartphone technology in particular could be really important and help the industry actually unlock personalisation in the future in store from a physical store environment. And we can see retailers as well starting to engage with this type of technology as well. This is just a couple of examples from the US where retailers are actually investing in personalized experiences in store. This is on the left, it's an example from Target, and on the right, it's an example from Walmart, where they've really invested in their apps, in their grocery apps, that actually shoppers can download these apps, and they've also invested in iBeacon technology. So when shoppers are going around their stores, they can actually receive some of these personalized offers to their phones. So you can see the industry in different parts of the world actually starting to really engage with personalization from a shopper perspective. So the fourth trend is all around experimentation. So shoppers will be more experimental in the future when it comes to the products they're buying, but also in terms of meal preparation to really kind of broaden their repertoires. When we talk to shoppers, they're really open to trying new and different food products, but also non-food products and services. So 80% of shoppers say that they're open to trying new products and experiences, both from a food and a non-food perspective. And a lot of this is being driven by the likes of increasing number of people going on holiday, experiencing new cuisines, and also the growing ethnicity within the UK. So actually, we believe this is going to increase even more so in the future. But what's a bit different again about this trend is actually how shoppers are finding inspiration for their food and grocery shopping, and actually how quickly they're finding out about new products or new services, etc. And this again goes back to social media and people engaging with social media to find out information about different products, etc. This is an example from Unilever, who've actually invested in an AI algorithm that actually will scan people's Instagram posts, in this example, via their Eat Your Feed initiative. So it will scan your Instagram posts and actually start serving you up personalized or relevant recipes based on your different posts. This is just an example of someone who's posted a picture from a holiday in Morocco, and actually they've started serving up some relevant recipes based on this person's post. And actually it's connected with its Knorr Stock Cube brand as well. So as well, it uses recommendations based on those products. In terms of category perspective, I've just put some data up here from our category benchmarks research as well, to kind of understand where shoppers are in terms of requests for new products, or NPD, on a scale in terms of categories. I've just put up as well an example here from some new products that Innocent have launched from the milk category. And as you can probably see from the data, it's one of the categories where shoppers aren't necessarily looking for NPD. But again, are these the categories that we should be looking at to really invest and engage with shoppers more so? And this is just quite a nice example from Innocent, where they really have engaged with the health trend in terms of dairy alternatives, and actually driving some excitement within this category. The fifth trend is all around social consciousness. So shoppers will want to make more sustainable and ethical choices when it comes to their food and grocery shopping, but only if other needs are actually satisfied. And when it comes to sustainability and ethical shopping, shoppers actually do want to do the right thing. And we've seen this rising up the shopper agenda, certainly in terms of awareness. 3/4 of shoppers say that they've become more aware of the environmental impact of plastic packaging in the last 12 months. And actually, from a shopper perspective, in terms of which shopper groups are going to be more engaged with this, we see younger shoppers saying actually concern for the environment will be more important to them in the next 5 to 10 years. But at the moment, even though awareness is increasing among shoppers and the aspiration is there, we're not necessarily seeing this translate into action and changing shopper decisions. Why is this? Well, actually, in some cases, shoppers cite availability of some of these products. There's a lot around price perceptions as well. Some shoppers actually believe some of these products are going to be more expensive than the alternatives. And then there's also an issue around performance, or actually taste. So performance when it maybe comes to non-food products, but actually some shoppers thinking some of the taste around some of these products mightn't actually be as good as the alternatives. So there currently are some barriers to this trend actually cutting through. But we do believe there's going to be a tipping point around social consciousness, which is going to drive this up the agenda even more so. And one of these is around the likes of media and what we're calling the David Attenborough effect. From the program Blue Planet. I'm not sure if anybody saw this program, but actually it was the most watched program in 2017. And we're seeing shoppers actually increasing awareness of social or sustainable issues and more ethical issues because of some of these tipping points, like media having an impact as well. And we do believe, as I said, that some of these tipping points are coming together in terms of media awareness, but also government legislation as well is going to have an impact on the industry and actually drive even more shopper awareness. And already we're seeing some shoppers saying that they're making some changes to their lives because of things like the David Attenborough effect. Actually, over half of shoppers say recent TV programs like Blue Planet 2 has actually inspired them to make changes to support the environment. And again, picking out that shopper group that we think are going to really engage with this trend over the next few years, it's influencer shoppers. So nearly 40% of influencer shoppers say they're always going to buy environmentally sustainable food and grocery products in the future. So a shopper group to really engage with on this trend in the future. And actually, we're starting to see the industry take action as well around this trend already. This is just some examples where we've seen investment from both a supplier or also a retailer perspective. An example for L'Oreal, who've invested in a company called Seed Phytonutrients, that actually all of their these health and beauty products are based on organic product, but also they're really looking at their packaging as well. So this packaging is actually shower-proof paper packaging, which is recyclable and also compostable as well. The likes of Waitrose, who are getting rid of single-use coffee cups as well. And you probably saw in the news last week that McDonald's have actually made the move away from plastic straws in favour of paper straws as well. Co-op is also trialling a plastic bottle deposit return scheme as well this summer at different festivals, music festivals as well. So we're already seeing the industry starting to make investment or take action to actually stay ahead with this trend. So that's to give you a view of the 5 mega trends that we think are really going to affect shopper behaviour and the industry over the next few years. I just wanted to take you through some other research we have around how retail formats are actually going to evolve over the next few years. And firstly, I just wanted to talk about how the physical store is going to evolve. And we believe it's going to evolve in 3 different ways. The first one is all about relevancy. So stores will have to be even more relevant to the food and grocery shopping experience. So for instance, one store actually delivering against multiple missions and staying on trend, thinking about those 5 mega trends and how you can engage shoppers from the physical store perspective on those 5 trends. Providing a fun and enjoyable shopping experience as well, particularly for those shoppers who enjoy it, but also to try and convert more shoppers, those that actually don't enjoy the shopping experience, to actually start engaging with them a bit more in the future as well. And personalisation, as I spoke about as well, will be really important from a physical store perspective as well. The second way that stores are going to evolve, or physical stores are going to evolve, is all around efficiency. So this is thinking about, driving operating efficiencies from a physical store perspective, but also from a shopper perspective, and how to actually reduce shopper friction in store and making that really seamless shopping experience. It's going to need to support shoppers, needs to save time and money, and it has to become that really kind of easy shopping experience. The third way is around differentiation, so that's around range, experience, inspiring and interacting with shoppers, and also thinking about that mission focus as well. So just to give you some examples of where we're seeing some of these, the evolution of the store actually coming into play through our global innovation tracker. This is just an example from Carrefour in south of Paris that have actually invested in creating a really efficient shopping experience for multiple missions. So actually this store has 4 different entrances based on different missions shoppers could be on. So for instance, if shoppers just want to go in and do a top up on fresh, there's one entrance. If they want to do a bigger basket or main shop, there's a different entrance. Or if they just want to go down the offers power aisle, or if they're on a non-food experience. So this store actually delivering against multiple missions and actually making it really accessible for shoppers to actually access and conduct these missions in store. The second way I spoke about how stores are going to evolve in the future will really be thinking about how efficient ways to operate stores. And this is an example from Walmart, where they've invested in shelf scanning robots that actually go around in store and actually scan the shelves for prices, but also for out of stocks as well. And this actually frees up time for the members of staff in the store to actually engage with shoppers. So increasing efficiencies, but also allowing and creating a more engaging experience, because staff can actually focus on the shopping experience and on shoppers in store. And the third way, as I spoke about, is all about differentiation with innovative products and displays. And again, just an example from our innovation tracker from Albert Heijn, who've actually invested in a really engaging herb fixture in store where shoppers can actually go in store and pick or cut the herbs that they want. So actually creating a really sensory experience and an engaging experience for shoppers when they are actually in store. So that's how, and just to give you a bit of a view on how the physical store is going to evolve over the next few years, just thinking about how the online store of the future will evolve and what it's going to actually look like. And again, this is a new piece of research that we launched in the last month. So again, this is freely available for people to download. But just to take you through the 5 ways that actually the online store is going to evolve over the next few years. It's going to be personal, so shoppers' personal micro store. It's going to be smart, so thinking about how voice can actually create a smart and personal experience for shoppers and actually assisting shoppers with their grocery shopping online. It's going to be efficient, so thinking about even more efficient ways to fulfill online food and grocery orders. It's going to be frictionless, so actually creating that really seamless offline and online experience. And at sometimes it's going to be invisible. And again, I'm just going to take you through some examples of where we're seeing some of these 5 different ways the online store is going to evolve over the next few years. This is an example from Ocado, actually, where they've started to invest in more personalised media and banner ads online. So they announced last year that they're actually starting to serve up different banner advertising to different shoppers based on previous purchases. And also they've invested in a calorie saver. So at the checkout, it offers up shoppers alternatives, healthier alternatives of different products that shoppers may have already put in their basket. So creating that more personal experience for shoppers online. It's going to be smart. So the online store of the future is going to be smart. So thinking, as I was talking about, investment in voice as a new channel. This is an example from Amazon and Unilever, who've come together to create a Recipedia skill on Alexa, where actually shoppers can say to Alexa what particular products they might have in the fridge or in their cupboards, and it will serve up different recipes based on the products that shoppers have shared with Alexa. Thinking about efficiency in terms of fulfillment, on the left-hand side, this is just to highlight Amazon Key, which is starting to roll out in even more countries, where actually Amazon deliveries can be delivered when shoppers aren't at home, and it's all via digital codes that actually delivery people can access people's homes. And actually products can be delivered securely, but when people aren't at home, so creating that really efficient delivery experience. A bit of an interesting example from Casino in the south of France, that actually shoppers can order their products online and get it delivered to a yacht if they have one. So thinking about even more efficient ways to actually get food and grocery products delivered to shoppers. Frictionless, so creating that offline and online experience. This is an example from Ocean in China, who have invested in this unmanned store in China, where shoppers can actually access the store via a QR code, but also they can make purchases via social media. So WeChat is a big social media platform in China. So it's creating that that offline and online experience as well. And finally, the online store of the future could be invisible in some cases in the future. So it's really thinking about how you can create shoppable digital content. This is an example from Micmac, which actually creates a video platform where shoppers can actually view social media posts and actually make purchases directly from some of these videos and social media posts. So thinking about how you can start engaging with social commerce from this perspective as well. So that's a bit of a whistle-stop tour of shoppers of the future. So those 5 mega trends that those 5 mega trends that are actually going to shape shopper behaviour in the future. And I just wanted to share the URL where you can download this new report, which we launched last week. So shoppers of the future, but also to highlight a couple of other reports as well, which might be of interest. So we've one around the evolution of the physical store as well. And as I was just talking about, the online store of the future. So please do log on and download some of this research. So finally, just some summary points to think about on how to engage with shoppers in the future. So thinking about meeting those core needs by doing the basics, exceptionally well. So thinking about range, availability, category architecture, and that focus on value as well. Thinking about how you're investing or developing shopper experiences that really drive emotional engagement in the future. Are you investing in test and learn activity with target shoppers and using that influencer shopper group as well to really engage with some of these trends? Thinking about the value of data, so important, particularly when you're thinking about investing in more personalized shopping experiences, and as well staying ahead with future trends that are actually relevant to your brands and thinking about that from a total category perspective to really drive growth. So that's all from me. I think we have some questions as well now. I've just shared my email address as well if you'd like to stay in touch, or if there are any questions that we actually don't get through today. So I just have a question that's come in around technology and where this is in terms of a trend and where does it fit. And actually, when we were looking at technology from this research perspective, we looked at technology as an enabler. So we haven't actually identified it as a standalone trend. But actually technology is going to play a really important role in enabling some of these trends. And I've pulled out obviously ones around certainly around personalisation, where smartphone technology could play a really important role for engaging with shoppers from a personalised perspective in the future. But also from some of the trends around health and social consciousness, and thinking about the impact of social media and really engaging with shoppers on some of those trends as well. There was a more kind of practical question around how we did this research as well. And actually, as I was talking about, we've been conducting this research for a number of months, and we used 3 main sources for this research. And the first one is from our Shopper Vista service. So we run a monthly tracker of British grocery shoppers where we talk to over 1,500 shoppers every month to really understand their motivations and behaviours, etc. So we used a lot of content from our Shopper Vista service that we've been tracking for a number of years, but we also did some bespoke research as well for this particular piece of research. So we did some immersive shopper groups in a few different locations within the UK, and also we ran a bespoke survey as well to really start thinking about these future trends and how they were going to impact shoppers in the future. I have another trend as well about the impact of external developments in the future and which trends that will really impact. And I guess one of the I suppose one of the biggest external developments, or one of the biggest unknowns in some sense, it will be the impact of Brexit, which is obviously still very much in negotiation, over the next few months. And I think going back to some of those fundamental shopper needs as well, they'll be really important for the industry to deliver against. So ensuring that you're focusing on value, and value will continue to be really important for shoppers over the next few years. Obviously convenience, as I was talking about as well, will be particularly important, and then that choice and relevancy. So thinking about those fundamental needs over the next few years, they'll have a really important impact as well. We've just got a question around have we seen any innovations from some of the big retailers within the UK, and so we had a lot of examples from overseas, and absolutely we've some good examples from the UK as well. I might pick up with this delegate afterwards, but we obviously have a global innovation tracker, but this includes UK retailers as well. So we've got lots of examples from the UK as well that we can share, and they're available on our retail analysis service. So I think that's all the questions that we've time for today, and if there's any that we haven't answered, we'll absolutely follow up with you guys afterwards. So just to say thank you very much for taking the time to listen today. Absolutely get in touch. I've left my email address if you do have any other questions, and also log on to igd.com to download some of this new research, which is freely available for you guys to access.